This episode is brought to you by Leprechaun Transport, who can transport your general goods anywhere around the metro area, the state and Western Australia. See you soon.
G'day folks, how you going? Welcome to this episode of my Bush to Beach series. This is episode 6, where we've been basically travelling from the bush or the forest of Pemberton and going through to the beaches of Esperance. In this series, the idea has been to basically show you some of the things you could see or do if you chose to travel this route yourself. If this is your first time here, then perhaps maybe you might like to check out what we've done throughout the series. I'll put a link up here to the playlist for that one. We've only got a couple of videos left in this series. We're right at the end of it, so we're looking around the Esperance area at the moment. So while I run the intro, how about going down the bottom down there, hit that subscribe button down there and that bell next to it, because that'll let you, or send you an email, let you know when I've uploaded another video. And while you're hitting things down here, you might as well hit that thumbs up as well, because that's good for the channel, because that'll encourage YouTube to show my videos to other viewers on YouTube as well. So anyway, housekeeping done, let's get into it. We'll see you in a couple of seconds.
You know, I was going to call this series Coast to Coast. Then 2 weeks before we were due to leave, this happened.
We received a positive COVID-19 test result.
That's right, COVID hit Perth. Great. This meant a last-minute change in plans. So the roadblock will be about here. If I take this track down around here... Hey, nothing to see here. But there was no need to plan a secret departure from Perth, because the gods, they were smiling on us. It was a day late, but we could finally depart on our travels. But now, what to call the series? Escaping COVID. Nah. What about... Hey, welcome back folks. Esperance. What an amazing place. It is basically the beach for the Goldfields region of Western Australia, which is about 400 kilometres away. It has a lot to offer everybody. Everything from fishing, boating, surfing, four-wheel driving, just lazing around doing absolutely nothing. It is perfect for all that sort of stuff. The water is so clean you can just about see through it. In this video we're going to be having a look around the immediate Esperance area, and then in the next video we'll actually look at some of the stuff that's outside of the immediate area of Esperance. Now I did say in the last video that I had a little stop I was going to do on the way just out of Esperance. It was actually outside of Ravensthorpe. It's about 4 kilometres to the west of Ravensthorpe. Little pull-in area there that most people drive past and don't even know that this is there. So here's a throwback to my old coach driving days. What I used to call Jono's useless information. Now, as you all know, around the world there's different time zones, and 0 hour, which is Zulu time or GMT or whatever you want to call it, it's all basically the same thing, runs through like London, Paris, down through that sort of way. And Perth is +8 hours of London. This point here, which is about 4 kilometres west of Ravensthorpe, is the point where the 8-hour line actually goes through. So although Perth is 8 hours, we're actually really, I think maybe something like about 7 hours or 45 minutes or something, so 15 minutes back that way is where Perth is. But this point here is the exact line of 8 hours, and it runs from here straight up through Yellowdine, up through Marble Bar, right up through that way. As I said, useless information. Between Bremer Bay and Esperance, there are a couple of places you can also stop into. If you're into four-wheel driving, then I hear the Fitzgerald River National Park has some interesting places worth seeing. There are a few ways of getting into the national park from the main southwest coastal highway for the four-wheel drives, but if you don't have a four-wheel drive and you only got two-wheel drive, you can also get into it on the Bitumen Road from the Hopeton end. Speaking of Hopeton, it's worth a look into as well. It's a very modern, decent-sized town, not quite what you expect all the way out here. That's because of the nearby mine that was built. So as I heard it, BHP had built the mine and it opened in 2008. It cost them $2.2 billion to build it, and they had only budgeted for it to be around about $1.4 billion. Less than a year later, they closed it because the nickel prices had dropped, and we also had that global financial crisis as well. And then they sold it off in 2009, December 2009, sold it off to a Canadian company for a measly $447 million. Now, as for the town itself, BHP spent a fortune building facilities and things in town to encourage the workers to actually build houses in town and bring their families out so that they live close to the mine. Continuing on to Esperance, there are a couple of other national parks which I believe are four-wheel drive access only. Morning folks, here in Esperance, just taking a walk along the foreshore. We spent quite a few $1 million a few years ago doing it all up. It looks really amazing now. It's a great little walk from the caravan park to into town, about maybe 15-minute walk. Seems to be that the barbecues are free. They're certainly clean. Like I said, spent a lot of money here, and it's money well spent, I reckon. A total of $59 million was spent to upgrade the whole foreshore area, including works to protect the area from erosion. The foreshore is now a real family-friendly area with facilities like playgrounds and a skate park. There's rolling green grass to sit on after you come out of one of the biggest assets of the Esperance area, its amazing beaches. Esperance is a pretty decent sized town with a population of over 11,000 people, and it's the perfect place to restock your supplies. And it has all the modern conveniences, including the American Embassy, where we had lunch. The Esperance Tango Jetty has long been a favourite tourist stop. Made of wood, it was opened in 1935. It was home to the leafy sea dragons and the ever popular Sammy the seal. In recent years it fell into disrepair, and while it was on the Heritage Register, an order for it to be demolished was made in 2015. With the locals up in arms, they successfully had it stopped at the 11th hour by the Heritage Minister, and it would take another 3 years before a plan for a new jetty was lodged and accepted before the old jetty was removed and slipped away in the back of trucks. While the new jetty is due to open shortly, if not already, it will never have the history of the old jetty, but it will become once again the place for the locals to come together to fish from, and hopefully again be able to spot the seahorse swimming by. And of course, let's hope that Sammy comes back again one day too. Esperance is a working port, and product has been coming in and out of here since the early settlement back in 1893. But today its main exports are iron ore, nickel and grain. Yes, you heard correct, iron ore. Iron ore is not just in the Pilbara region. It's railed down here 550 kilometres from Coolonobbing, in an area more known for its gold. The port is the deepest southern port in Australia and handles about 200 ships a year. With the opening of the new Tango Jetty, there are plans to encourage cruise ships to make this port a regular stop. Pretty much in the middle of town is the Museum Park Period Village. The buildings in the Period Park have been relocated from around town and now house a number of different little boutique shops. It's a pretty good spot to stop because it's got the Tourist Information Centre here. You'll also find the Sunday markets here every week. A man in his natural habitat while the women are shopping. The museum is another great place to visit. Inside the large sheds you can wander around out of the weather. You can easily spend an hour here if you can get in. Museums are sort of pretty interesting place. Got a lot of good stuff to have a look at. Problem is, it's closed. It's closed. Only opens a couple of days a week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday or something like that, and it's only open for 3 hours a day. How ridiculous. Particularly when the Esperance caravan parks are booked out. They're full. There's a heap of people around here and they've got the bloody thing closed. And the sign says open daily, 1:30 to 3:30. Not good, Esperance. The beaches of Esperance have got to be some of the best beaches in Australia. So clear and the colours are just amazing. But that water is so cold for me. After all, Antarctica is only 3,500 kilometres away, with nothing between us but icebergs. However, some beach access is, well, challenging. You won't be wanting to carry too much stuff down here because you have to get it back up later. Let's see if I can get out on this reef that's out here. It looks like it's a fairly shallow section somewhere there along to be able to walk onto it. So I'll give it a go and see what happens. Okay, that was easy enough. Just hope the tide don't come in while I'm over here. And just to prove there's not just one beach, here's another. This is Twilight Beach, but to me I reckon they should call it Dinosaur Beach, because this rock here looks to me like a giant dinosaur skeleton laying in the water. This rock here is like the head with the eye socket, and then the body going out round the back there. And just what every beach needs is an ice cream van. If you continue driving along the coast, you'll pass a number of viewing points, like Observatory Point.